Hey there, YouTube family. This is Brad with the Big Family Homestead. Listen, a little while back, just a few weeks ago, Christa and I made a video on you think you own that, or the big hubbaloo, I don't know, hubbaloo. Nah, you know what I mean. Hullabaloo. There it is, hullabaloo. Was that the big wigs in the world, the one world government crowd was basically spinning this idea that if you'll own nothing and be happy. You'll own nothing and be happy. And we put this out there, and I was really shocked and surprised at how many people had already heard about it. And then the people that didn't were very eager to say, no. And it was only, to be honest, the very youthful people who were interested in not doing that. It was more of a, I don't want to have that responsibility kind of thing, and I can still live my life. Well, here's a scoop. We just saw, I just saw, and I shared it with Christa, and she's like, you just make the video because chances are you have all the knowledge on what you've researched, and so I would just be sitting there. So here's the scoop. Samsung has basically come out and said they have a kill switch in all their new smart TVs. Now, I know it sounds like science fiction, and on the surface, this is going to sound good. It's going to sound like, well, yeah, stick it to them. How dare they? Here's how this article has gone out. Here, I'll show. This is the first article that I found, and I found several that support it too. But here you go. Basically, all that rioting and craziness that's going on in South Africa, they're burning businesses down. It's not being widely reported. And people are looting and stealing and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Well, Samsung, the local Samsung people said, hey, you know what? If you go ahead and steal a TV, and it's a Samsung smart TV, don't worry, because the first time they try to use it, it's going to shut off. We have a kill switch in it. And don't worry, then it's going to basically make it into nothing. What? It's twoo, people. Yeah. They have a kill switch built into their TVs. So when you think about the idea of ownership, now, again, I said this sounds really good on the surface. Like, how dare those people steal those TVs and then go home and use them as their own? It's theft. Sounds good. Good for you, Samsung. Make them worth nothing. But what if it was not for a reason of theft? What if political winds change and you happen to be on the receiving end of people that don't like your ideas? Does all your stuff just go, boink, gone? You don't get to use it anymore. Oh, your phone? Sorry. No phone for you. Samsung leading the way, or at least publicly. I'm here to tell you guys, here's a little secret. It's in almost all of your smart devices already. And you know that terms of service thing that you signed really quickly because you wanted to use your phone or your TV, and it was that long list of legal blah, 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 blah. And you just went, yes. I want to use my TV, or I want to use my phone, or I want to use my blah, 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 blah. It said it in there. And you agreed to it. This is the world we live in. And yeah, it's true that if you think that ownership should be something that you still retain ownership, period. Whether it's your land, whether it's your, and I know people don't get me wrong. I get it. We rent. You don't own land anymore, really. Not in the United States. You used to. I mean, think about it. You purchase a piece of land, right? You build on it, you do all this stuff, you pay off your mortgage over 30 years. What happens if you're too late on your taxes for a while? What happens? They take it. That's not ownership. That's leasing. Sorry to say. And now it's moving into your stuff. TVs, computers, phones. You know, what that said, you'll own nothing and be happy. I have a feeling that it's already in place for a lot of the things we already use And we just blew past that terms of service contract and didn't even read it really. And now all of a sudden it's already there. And Samsung leading the way, folks, leading the way, at least publicly. It sounds like a good idea on the surface until all of a sudden you're on the receiving end, doesn't it? What if all of a sudden you didn't do anything wrong, but you just happen to like X idea of, let's just say, oh, here's a good hot one. Let's say that you fall on one side of whether or not you should take the, let's say that you're on one side and that side becomes very unpopular. So unpopular that if you don't go ahead and do X, Y, and Z, then your device won't work anymore. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? Sounds almost as crazy as your TV getting shut off because the overlords in Japan said so. Now, again, stealing the TV in South Africa, bad. But what happens if all of a sudden the tide turns on you, even though you didn't steal anything? Think it's crazy? Start looking at history. Yeah. I vaguely remember a former president saying something about having to rewrite history. Yeah, I'd look that up. That our history was going to need to be rewritten. Well, how do you do that if you know all the devices remember everything and well they can be manipulated or erased or changed? Well, that's a lot easier now, isn't it? Do what you want, folks, but I'm just telling you, it's all right here. It's right in our faces. Anyway, Brad with the Big Family Homestead. Oh, yeah. You want to have a more open discussion on this stuff? Go to Patreon because that's where we have a more open discussion because you got to guard yourself here because we can't say anything that's not approved, right? Patreon, blah, blah, blah. You know the deal. Thank you guys for watching. Have an awesome day. Bye.